In 2024, I started going to the rivers, reservoirs, the dams, and recording water levels. And then I continued this through 2026. I came to the Blue Mesa Reservoir in 2024 to photograph it. And at that point in time, the capacity of it was 66%. Which I believed at that point to be in a critical state. This here is these buoys you see out there. We're going to walk over to those, but it shows up here where the water level used to go to. All this used to be underwater here. And we can turn around and take a look at it and see how far down it goes. And drought's been going on, they say, since about the year 2000. I did this video of the Blue Mesa Reservoir. It sits in a critical state currently at capacity somewhere between 29 and 32%. These photos here show the boat ramp in both 2024 and then 2026, and the massive difference between the two time periods. On this photo, it shows the original boat ramp is more of the gray area on the upper portion of it, than the lower portion of it is the new boat ramp. And also at the top of that wider boat ramp is also the location of the original water level. The photo that's shown right now is of the Blue Mesa Reservoir. This is 2026, May of 2026. And it's very concerning because this whole area at one point was covered with water. And now you see a small stream feeding into a much larger pool downstream. And the concerns about this are what is causing this. And the primary concern is global warming. And also the secondary would be over allocation of it. The primary contributor to global warming is carbon dioxide, and that's fossil fuel combustion, deforestation, and industrial cement production. I was driving at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I turned off and I saw this in the distance. And the flumes from the stacks, this is the Pawnee Power Station. And I found it very concerning because these gases are being emitted into our atmosphere at a very, very high rate. And if we're ever to get stability in our water sources, this must go away, and we must start finding ways to reverse the carbons that have polluted our atmosphere. In the recent report by the Bureau of Reclamation, they finally, I think they've mentioned before, but they brought it to center stage that the contributors to the Colorado River and the other reservoir systems throughout the West are being greatly affected by global warming, the carbon dioxide, the coal plants putting out very deadly gases into the atmosphere, and this has affected our rivers, and it is increasing the heat on our water systems, which is causing the receding and lowering of these water tables. With the increasing of the heat, it has increased evaporation and greatly reduced snowfalls, rainfalls. The amount of water runoff currently in the high mountains of Colorado this past year hit an all-time low. And with aridification, this is what our future currently looks like. And either we change this or we learn to live with this, and I call this, unfortunately, the new now. At this point, the water levels of the Colorado water systems are lowering at a rapid pace because of global warming. Okay, in 2021, the Bureau of Reclamation did an emergency draw or allocation from 3 different reservoirs. Flaming Gorge, 125,000 acre feet, Blue Mesa, 36,000 acre feet, and Navajo Reservoir, 20,000. And the pull from Blue Mesa Reservoir, Flaming Gorge, and Navajo Reservoir were to help prop up Lake Powell Reservoir, Glen Canyon Dam. It had reached a point of 32% capacity, and the Bureau of Reclamation ordered this to help increase the water levels to prevent minimum power pool. And then in 2022, there was an additional pull from Flaming Gorge of 500,000 acre feet. And then finally, in 2026, there was another pull from Flaming Gorge of 1 million acre feet, and that will be spread out over a year. And then because of the continuation of global warming, it is now back down to 32%. Climate models predict that without substantial global emissions reductions, total river flows could shrink by up to 31% by 2050. These photos display the effects of global warming and from the primary contributors of it. Dr. Brad Udall, Senior Water and Climate Research Scientist at Colorado State University's Colorado Water Center, is one of the leading climate scientists, arguing that we must stop calling the crisis to the Colorado River Basin a drought and now recognize it as aridification. His explanation is droughts are temporary, while aridification is not. Aridification puts us on a path to a very different climate that will continue until we stop greenhouse gas emissions.